Hey there, this is my first attempt at the longer type videos with more raw sculpting, as I've been finding that the weekly uploads don't really have a theme, I guess, and I thought I would give these longer form sculpting videos a try, so it sort of follows the same sort of content. I'm gonna have to get used to mispronouncing some things, as I do want to keep the, I guess, stops brief or non-existent. So sometimes I'll definitely take a break, but most of the time I'm just gonna say some stupid stuff and continue. For this video, I'm going to try to keep it short. So I'm going to make a head without a reference or without a concept, as I do have these references here, and they usually serve as my no concept head references. So I just have an idea of how some spots should look correctly. My words are getting messy, but I am gonna have to get used to speaking to the mic, camera, something like that. As I try to pull the neck, one thing I've been trying lately has been getting this back portion a bit bigger and then around it as it goes up. I shall widen the neck, make it a bit rounder here, and round the transition here. I think I'm also going to make the traps a bit and maybe the front here. Let's just get this down part correct. I'm not sure if you can hear my PC's fans just blowing. I would hope not though. Let's get the jaw back. I'll make the jaw a bit more pronounced, so I think I'm just gonna grab around here. Also on the back of the head to be squared. I want to explain stuff that I'm doing, but also just yap about things. So I shall take a sip of some coffee. I really like having a cup of coffee and a big jug of water when I'm sculpting, just so I can do something else, I guess. But also hydrate myself and be more energized, something like that. Okay, I think I can go one level below with the polygons. Fine. I'm also trying to get used to just smoothing everything out after I go to a different level of resolution, just so some small details from the prior ones don't stick out. I think the front of the face should be a bit more back. I am gonna go a bit faster than what I would usually do, just because I am sort of trying to get used to yapping. I don't really like the shape. I think I want to pull this neck a bit down and work on the traps. This. Just some traps, and then I'll pull this front part and the collarbone should be around here, so This will be the front of the chest. I'll make this a bit rounder. Should drop down. That's not too bad. And the traps should be a bit wider. Maybe a bit smaller. Let's make the neck a bit straighter. Yeah, not too bad. I probably won't do anything around here. I can just mark it. Marking, oh my god. Can also define the neck muscles. Yes. I don't want them to be super defined. And I'll make this a bit rounder. Yeah, this is too big. But I can decrease the size a bit with a grab brush, but it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the back of the head looks weird. Let's pull this back. This. Need to get used to talking to the camera or the mic, whatever. I usually either will listen to music or some long vid. I can't do like sub 20-minute videos because it's like I have to switch back, I have to look for other videos, so it gets kind of like I lose the focus and it's not helping. So podcasts aren't bad either, they're usually pretty long. Or I'll watch someone else sculpting who is talking, mostly speed chart or speed card. Maybe some other just random topic vid I have no background on. And it's kinda like I will be paying attention to the vid, but it's like it's background noise, I guess. Music isn't bad either, but I either have to play like a playlist or autoplay is good, so it depends. Sometimes I'll do some albums, but can't really replay the same thing. Okay, let's pull this chin back. Backer, more back. And let's add some jaw muscles here. I like to get this part of the jaw muscle on top of what would be the jawbone. So like this, but also a bit in. Cheekbones, I think they're pretty, are these called the eye sockets? I guess eye bones, it's probably a name. On the same level, and then they curl back here. This should go down, go up, and the nose, like, inner part should be more dug in, something like that. I also like to get this upper, holy man, this is the eyebrow, this is the forehead, holy. The forehead a bit, the upper forehead a bit back, and then the eyebrow area sort of on the same level as the eyes. Should be pretty flat, and then as it goes back, kind of round. I think the head is not bad wide-wise. Maybe just tone it down a bit. It's not that bad. I keep forgetting looking at the references, but the artists of each should be in the comments. I know these two skulls on top are by Anatomy for Sculptors, and the guy here should be by Assel something. I'm not sure about this one, but I think I've listed, or should have listed all of them in the description. I usually use this. I don't. Let me just sip on some water. I try not to sculpt anything without a reference, or not. I don't try, but I try to minimize the frequency of doing that. So there is definitely days where I just sculpt no reference, no concept, no nothing, but I try to keep that on the low. And if I do just want to do something without a reference, I'll try to at least, let's say I'm trying to make a male body, but I don't like the concepts, I still can use anatomy references just to get the shapes correct. Let's pull out the nose. I also struggle quite a lot with the nose usually. I feel like most of the time I get the size wrong, or proportions. And then on the proportions of the nose, I base the ears so it all sort of jumbles. It's not too bad, but you can see the weirdness on some of my sculpts. I think we can pull this, I can pull this lower lip thing area. Then here it can go back. The chin isn't that bad, but my chins usually look pretty mid. Like, they stick out too much, I feel like. Or they don't stick out enough, so they stick out. Something like that. I think I can pull the fucking... Ooh, the ears. I might just unnoise that, but I don't know if I'll try to stop sweating or... I do require way more water though. I try to make the mask smaller than the ears should be, and then the thing I pull, try to make it around nose size, nose tall, and pull it a bit more back. Honestly, not that bad. I like to smooth this, as this is very connected to the back of the jaw, and this will probably get smushed together, but I'm just trying to get a speed sculpt in here. I feel like when you go back to your sculpts, you can not see the mistakes, but just pick out like, okay, I could have done this different. So I think when you do like human bodies, going from one body part to the other, just sort of like lets you look at, okay, I did this wrong at the torso, I need to continue sculpt. I did this wrong at the torso, or oh, the torso does connect differently to the arms. So I usually just do the torso, and then I'll do the arms, and then the legs. And I feel like I shouldn't do that. I should do a lower resolution level of each one of those, and then get to more detailed. So I should change that. I'm losing my train of thought though. These should be a bit bigger. Round this up, and I think I'll go to the next level. I like to also make this a bit more curved, and then the neck more straighter. but it could stick out here. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do this, and we can go to the next level. I already did that. So 300. Another sip of coffee. I think this is my third coffee for the day. Oh my god, I already did that. It's not that I don't think it's a lot of caffeine, as coffee, instant coffee doesn't have that much. I just like the taste of it. I don't like that. I like the taste of it, especially with milk. I need to smooth this out. It is, I would say, way harder to sculpt while speaking, but I think it's because I just don't do it. But you definitely have to focus on two things at first, or one of them will be suffering, and right now I think it's my speaking. I also sort of struggle with this part of the head, as I do like when I do this, but then I think I mess up the eye part a bit. Yeah, this is definitely weird. I'll just smooth it out. It's not bad. Let's just quickly give it some more detail. This can go like this. Pull it down. My mouse or pen is kinda tweaking right now. It does not matter. I'll dig this in. Pull this out. It is tweaking quite a lot. I like to smooth this out more. Like, I want it to stick out, but I don't think this is very good. I'm not judging it, I'm just trying to give it as a good example. But I think that's fine. This part is a bit weird. Maybe I can make it a bit more triangular. Like this. Yeah, that's not bad. The neck. I think there's a sweet spot between having too much detail and not enough detail on the neck that just makes it look very nice. I don't think I've cracked it. I think my struggle is mostly here and actually at the bottom part. This should be a bit back, yeah. But also a bit down and smooth. Okay, I should work on the face. Let me just make this stick out a bit more. Smooth. I just go smooth everything. I think I make the cheekbones a bit too low usually, so I should think about that too. The nose really is weird, I would say. Not weird, but not correct. I'll just get the general shape of the ear. I do like spending a decent amount of time on the ear, as I would say that the ear is it's simpler than how it looks, and you just need to spend some more time to get like the general shape of it, and you can make it look quite nice without adding too much, but you do need to spend just some time to get like the correct general look. But I definitely don't think the ears I make are the worst, if I do spend some decent time. And that can vary from sculpt to sculpt. I really struggle with this upper part and with the whole That's not the earlobe, I think this is the earlobe. With the whole outer ear skin thing. I don't know what it's called. I do like the earlobe, if this is the earlobe. This is definitely not proudest ears, but you can get them to look quite decent with fairly low detail, but you do need to just get the general shape right. But they're definitely easier than they seem. I think so. That's not too bad. I also struggle with this inside. Like this is all small in. I don't know how to describe it. And the outside just sticks. Like this is quite a thick layer of skin, and then the back of the ear just lacks the thickness, I guess. I'm messing up quite a lot. So the eyebrows should go down. I don't think I described sculpting good, but I don't think I should describe sculpting. It's not that. It's not, but I think if I would prefer to yap about something else, to talk about something else. But if I don't talk about the sculpt, I sort of lose the sculpting. I can't do both of them. That's actually not the worst nose I've done. I really struggle with this upper part. I usually just smooth it out, but I don't think that's the correct way to do it. Let's detail out the nose. Pull this back. I'll either do this with draw sharp or the crease polish. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yes, that one. I used to like religiously use draw sharp, or not draw sharp, crease polish, but then I switched to draw sharp, and then I religiously used draw sharp, but I forgot crease polish. Crease polish existed, and now I use them both, and I think it's the best application I've done of brushes. I also struggle with the Filtrum, because of the Filtrum Empire. That's how I've memorized it, as it should be like straight coming from the nose, and then this should come back like anything, but I can't get it correct. Let's dig out this better. It's not the best, honestly, but I'll inflate it a bit, and then we'll come back either before I go to the next resolution or in the next resolution. The chin could be a bit smaller. Keep forgetting looking at the references, and I will drink some water. Yeah, this is hard, honestly. The mouth could be a bit smaller. This also goes in. These are like, I don't know what they're called, but they stick out at the end of your lips. Ish. Let's carve out the eyes. I might add spheres, but it just depends on how it will look without them. This fat pad also really depends from person to person, and sometimes it generally helps the likeness of the sculpt. Sometimes I just can't get it right. Okay, let's get the lowered, I don't know the name of it, it's not an eye socket, lowered eyelid, I think that's the name, and the upper eyelid will mostly be under this fat pad, but then it'll come out like here-ish. Let's do this. I think the proportions aren't super bad, but they're definitely a bit everywhere. I've started putting these, well, I have no idea what the name is. Eye lines, mouth line, eye lines, mouth lines a bit straighter as they come down and curvier as they go in the back. Okay, I have no, I've forgotten most of the names. No nose holes, I'll call them holes, I don't remember the name. Pull this back. I definitely struggle with this upper part. I don't like detail on the nose either. But it's not too bad. Okay, let me just add some more details and I can go to the next level, I guess. Sometimes I forget to check the other angles and it just looks weird. But I've gotten fairly used to not doing that, I guess. Okay. I'm not usually sure where to go with this last level of detail, but I think this wasn't that bad. Let me drink my final sip of it. No. One of the sips, so I don't know. I think I'm going to smooth out everything. I usually mess up here quite a lot, as I just want to finish something and just notice the sloppiness most of the time. Like, yes, most of the shapes are done, but smoothing is quite important, and not losing detail while getting rid of unnecessary detail really helps bring out the look of a sculpt. Like with a crease polish brush, you can get some edges to look good, but you have to go over them a few times. This is the sort of mess I was talking about. Like, the ear thing should connect here, but not that much. I don't know. This is definitely connected, but you shouldn't be able to see that from the front, as the cheekbones go like this. This should be fairly smoothed out. I don't think I'm adding eyes. I also need to add more detail. This is just on my general sculpt around the forehead area. Like, wrinkles are not wrinkles, but the like skull lines, would that be it? Like, these are a bit more pronounced on most heads. But honestly, that's just decent. I like clay strips because you can get a more organic key look. Something like that. The nose isn't that bad either. This should go down. This should be quite creased. Honestly, that's not the worst nose I've made. But see, this part really lacks everything. I don't know what to do here. Like, I think it's skin and nose thingies, but I don't know what it is. I'm sipping my last water. But I also think this part isn't pronounced, but it's there. Okay, I think they are nose holes, but I don't remember the name. I also think I've forgotten to symmetrize a lot, which I usually, okay, nothing changed that much. Which I usually do after every change in detail. Let's get the mouth more correct. The film is definitely too big. I think it's small here. Goes like this. Okay, that looks weird. Small. The lower lip isn't that defined, but the lack of muscle. I don't know what. Lack of. There's things missing here, and they make it look more pronounced. But should be smoother around the edges. That's not that bad. The chin should definitely be more pronounced. And maybe a bit more back. I don't think I'm adding eyes, so I'm gonna try to get these fat pads to look better. And the eyes in general to look better. Let's go with draw sharp. This is the lower eyelid. Now the eyes shouldn't be. Oh no, I need to add shoes. This looks pretty bad. So I made a short about this, but around 6 eyes, or the 6 eyes should be about a head wide at its widest point. So it should be as wide as the head as its widest point, at its widest point. Around that. And then the eye should be like where the eyelids are, the eye socket is, I think. The eyeball stands a bit higher, so it wouldn't be exactly in the middle. It would be more like this-ish. Not too much. I think most of the details in the head or just the anatomy of anything shouldn't be that, not anatomy, but parts of anatomy shouldn't be as pronounced. I'm losing everything now. I am pressing Control Space to do that, and I'll add a mirror modifier. Look at these eyeballs, he looks really sad. I will try to change that though. I think the eyes are a bit small. Let's make this a bit less round. The lower eyelid should be a bit flatter, like it shouldn't go like this. It should go like, not straight though. It's definitely not the greatest. But it's not the worst. Even not the worst no concept speed sculpted head I've done. But it definitely lacks a lot of things. I think the eyebrow ridge should be more pronounced. Just sticking out more. I've lost my train of thought and I've lost my planning. Plan? Honestly, it's not that bad. I'll just make this a bit more. Shouldn't be super pronounced again, not. Most things shouldn't be as pronounced in the face or any anatomy, organic like anatomy. Something like that. This part should be a bit more dug in. Honestly, it's not that bad. It's not good either, but it's not like... This kind of adds improvement without actually coloring and the shadow. Let me add him some actual eyebrows. These are all like crutches, I guess. That's not that bad. I'll give it that. For 35 minutes, for struggling... No, I'm not gonna make excuses. But there was thought put into it. And a cup of coffee and 800 milliliters of water. And I think that's about it. If you have any ideas on what I should do, I'll probably try these each time for my weekly uploads. But I need to think more on what I'm saying and experiment with these. If you have any suggestions, please leave them below, as I'm sort of just raw dogging it. Also, if you did enjoy, you can like and subscribe and those things. And I'll see you probably in some short. I've been trying to make shorts and long form, but I dislike shorts, honestly. Or, yeah, they're weird. But I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.